I saw an ad in a shop window. Television for sale, $1, volume stuck on full. I thought, can't turn that down. Hello, pioneers! My name is Minecraft Bed Edition. This is Satisfactory. And on the last episode, we worked on this massive parking garage. And that's about it. I did a little bit more work on it and checked over the footage, and it was all really boring, so I'm not going to show that. But I did want to show off some of the stuff I had accomplished. So we have an entrance, an exit, a basic idea for an area right here where we can have the trucks drive in right there and such. And it's going to be great. However, we're going to put that to the side for right now because until I have more materials to bring into this garage, I don't actually need any more of it completed. I'm more interested in getting a main storage area built. But even that's going to get pushed to the back burner while we take this episode to make a factory for the next product that we need, which is going to be Encased Industrial Beams right here. So for that we need concrete and more steel beams. Well, we already know how to make steel beams, so that should be easy to replicate, and then we just need some concrete to add to that. So let me think about it for a little while, and I'll try to find a good spot for this new factory. Okay, well, that's annoying. I did a scan for coal, and all I could come up with were the nodes that we've already been using, the ones that we're using for coal power, and the ones that we're already using for truck fuel and for our current steel production. However, I then had the realization that we have since unlocked Mark II miners, and we're only utilizing Mark I miners over there. So a Mark II miner requires 10 encased industrial beams. And if I am willing to handcraft 10 of those a couple times, maybe 20 for 2 Mark II miners, I should be able to build the encased industrial beams right next to our current steel factory. Okay, back over at the steel beam and steel pipe factory, and I did a little scan, and I had forgotten there was limestone right here, but I had also forgotten there were 2 more iron nodes right here, which are both normal. Yeah, they're both normal. So 2 normal nodes is equal to a pure node, and that coal was pure if I'm not mistaken. So if we put a Mark II miner on the coal node, we should be able to pull off all we need, and we can build another factory right close by here. In fact, this looks like a pretty great spot. We're pretty close to that other factory, but that's okay. Oh, I do see another slug right there, and one right here. That way all the raw resources will be coming in from the northeast over here. We'll have the iron coming in from right there, that limestone we just pointed out, and then we can run something over from that coal. Maybe we could even truck it over. It'd be kind of cool to truck in some resources. Quite like this little area right here too. Alright, this is going to be the spot right here. Kind of between all of those spots I just pointed out. We might build out into there even. I'd released another video that contained a tip that I wanted to point out right here as well. Basically, we created that box factory and it wasn't the prettiest. So my big tip to tell you is that if you want to avoid big boxy builds, don't build boxy rectangular foundations like this. Obviously I've done that here, but what I mean to say is now I'm going to build this way, and now it's no longer a perfect rectangle. And I want to make sure that I don't get gassed right here. No. Good. Good, this will work out then. Alright, working backwards as we do, we'll need an assembler for the encased industrial beams. We're going to need 24 steel beams per minute and 30 concrete. So that's not so bad. I'm not particularly worried about being 100% efficient on this either. But let's just refresh our memories at how much limestone we're going to be able to produce. Or excuse me, how much concrete we're going to produce with the limestone we have. It's 45 per minute. Okay, so let's lay down our first Mark II miner. It's on the normal limestone node, and that's going to get us 120 per minute, which is awesome. But not awesome enough. Let's see about overclocking it. Let me go grab those snails that we just saw. This one's in the gas. I don't like that, but I bet you we can make it. Come on. All right, let's get our brave boots on, boys and girls. Yeah, that wasn't so bad. All right, 300 parts per minute is too many because the biggest belt we have right now is 270. So 270 divided by 45 is 6. So we could get 6 constructors out of 270 parts per minute. So we can just set this to 270. And now we can run it over using our new Mark III belts. Alrighty, so thinking about 6 constructors. Five and 6. So it's going to make us 30, 60, 90 concrete per minute. So that's the concrete constructors done. They're going to need their resources split, so let's run the splitters. These I'm running all as Mark I belts because they only need 45 per minute, so we'll never need more than 60 per minute going into any one of these machines. So just to save on resources, although we do have plenty of Mark III belts. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to build this way now. And I want to be a little bit higher than this. Here's another little tip for you. Say you want to lay a 4-meter foundation down. I'm going to turn off zooping. And you want to just build straight up with it. Well, you can't jump high enough with Blade Runners on to do it unless you crouch. So check this out. You crouch at the top, and then you can build. And you can build yourself, or you can build straight under you, just like you would do in like Minecraft or something like that. So, okay, let's try a wall here. Just one conveyor port. Okay, so now we have the height about where we want it, and it's pointed where we want it to go. And I told you previously that I like to use these small pillar frames for transporting belts over. I think they look cool, elevated. And you can't get it right on that hole. I'm not aware of how to do it like that. So let's run up there, and I'll show you how I fix that. Okay. So now we're up here, and I like to do this in a 2-step way. I bet there's an easier way to do it, but I don't know one off the top of my head right now. So I'm going to run my foundations over here first. Remember, I don't want this to be foundations, but I want them for alignment purposes. Okay, and now we want the belt. Let me show you something. If I attach the belt on this side and I click here and I move it out, you'll see the belt's going the wrong way. I want this to be the input. So what I can do, instead of coming all of that way and coming to here, what I can do is I can put a belt going out that way, that's running the direction I want it to be. And now when I connect to the side, it knows that it's supposed to be going into it. So alrighty, let me just run this belt, and then I'm going to show you how I want to run the support, which is not going to be this concrete. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, first off, I want to delete all of these poles and all of this concrete. In case you can't remember, I'm using left control to paint what I want to construct. Okay, floating belt. That's not great, but we're not done yet. I think I told you before I was really after these small pillar frames because I like to support them. Well, you'll see right here, I think I showed you down below, but I can't get it right where I want it. So what I like to do is use one of these themselves as a guide. So I can just click one right there, and then I can raise one just right there. And now it looks like it's holding the belt. So now we can zoom these all the way over and have a steel support. So actually, probably instead of those foundations, we'll probably just want walls going down. And then we can use lifts. There, nice and clean. One thing I think I'd like to do is make a large power control station. So if we could have every factory set up to a power switch that you can just turn on and off. And if we ever don't want this running anymore, we could just hit Encased Industrial Beam, power off. I'm not really sure why that would be helpful, but I think it would be fun. Okay, so that's going to get us our 90 concrete. Let's take a look at the recipe again. All right, so we need 30. So this is making 1. So it's 6 per minute. So to make 6, we need to multiply these by 6. So we need 30 concrete and then 24 steel beams per minute. So we're going to be able to have 3 of these setups, making 18 encased industrial beams. So there's the concrete. I'm going to do all the power lines after. What's next? Next is foundries. Let's build in a second story. Before I get too much further along, I want to also remember that we're going to be trucking materials and goods back. So I don't want that to be an afterthought in this build like it was over there. I want it to be part of the thought, part of our design process. So maybe this is our entry point that we'll drive in. And trucks will come in here. Yeah, there'll be a truck depot right here. Let's build that right now. Yeah, and then we'll go out right there. Alright, so we've got concrete made right below us. We know we're going to want 3 assemblers for the final product. Let's see where that truck station is below us. Look at that, that's just about perfectly lined up in the center of one of the foundations already. Yeah, just verifying that that's the input. Let's put a conveyor floor hole. This is now our exit point. We know we can design around this. So what if we build a merger and we put it right there? Now instead of running a line, we encircle this part. There, so now they're all going to directly feed their encased industrial beams right into there. And they're going to go straight down into a truck and back to the storage area. It was just raining, and I love how the roof will protect this part from the rain. That's really cool. Can't tell if I like this or not. Looks like fog. That's kind of a cool view over there. But then just all this fogginess isn't that great to look at. But I still think it's cool enough. Maybe we'll build like a balcony out there that we could just stand and appreciate our work. Let's find a wall that we like. There's our first door, finally. With these, you can interact with their doorway. Switch them between always closed, always open, and automatic, so... I'm going to turn on just always open mode, I like that. Alright, again, 15 times 6 is 90. So we are going to need at least Mark II belts, and we're going to need a bunch of mergers. Nailed it. Okay, I think actually instead of running the belt work straight up and through the floor, maybe I'll run it out on the outside of the building. I think that would look pretty cool. And I don't really like where that floor hole was going to be placed up above, so... When you're using these conveyor lifts and stuff, you can hear an audible click. Hear that? It means it's lined up. It's pretty helpful for getting things built when you're above or below them. Okay, I just ran upstairs to connect this concrete, and I realized how close that is to that. How close this assembler is to the edge here, and I don't like that very much. So I'm going to change it. And just redo this one further out. Okay, so now we just need to add a splitter. Connect it up with belt work. And we will have the concrete portion done. So now we have our 90 concrete being split between the 3 machines for 30 each. Now we need to do the steel beams, and we're going to do that upstairs and then run it down through the floors. So let's build another wall. And let's do something else a little different. Let's make this wall, instead of 3, let's go 5 up. And we can add it. We can replace this one maybe, or this one and this one with windows or something like that. And let's also explore another option that we have when designing a factory, and that's using different sized floors. So we made this protrusion here for the inputs of the trucks, this protrusion here for the output. But now instead of following this exact footprint, let's make it quite a bit larger maybe. Something like that. It doesn't really matter. In fact, I'm just doing this arbitrarily, so let's just try it and see how it looks. Okay, so I just hooked up the iron, run the coal line over. I do still want to support this. I could do that as part of the decorating. We have 2 normal iron nodes hooked up to Mark II miners, which would give us 240 iron. Anyway, let's hook it up and see what we can do. Let's start over here so we can run the belts and split them. We needed 5 foundries, we said. Alright, so there's 1. These things are larger than 1 foundation. See, I can't, the way they abut, I can't just do them 1 foundation apart. So when that's the case, I like to split them, add a little gap, just so they don't feel so randomly placed. There. So in this case I have it middle of 1 foundation and then straddling 2 foundations, middle of 1, straddling 2. So we have a nice even space. Alright, let's set all these to steel. Okay, they're all set to steel. Also, I realized I made a mistake. I wasn't thinking. I need 4.8 constructors making the steel beams. Yeah, because 15 times 4.8 is 72, and that's how many of the steel beams we needed. So it was 4.8 of these, so we need 4.8 times 60. That's right. So 60 times 4.8 is 288 total steel. Well, we only have 240 right now coming in of iron, so that's the most we can do. So 240 is 4 of these. And so to make 240 steel ingots, we need 5 and then 1 at 33%. So there. 5. 33.3 repeating. That's a neat trick. If you want something exact like that, you can actually put the mathematic equation in here and it will calculate it for you. So, huzzah. Okay, so now we need our constructors. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Just to count, and this one will be at 80% because we needed 4.8. Awesome. All right, so we're going to bring the iron and the coal down this line right here, smelt them, merge all those into a line down here, run them over here. Okay, so what I like to do for foundries and assemblers when I'm loading from the same side is take my splitters, put them right in the middle. So you can see that centering line to the right, that's for the left input port. And then this one right here, it would be the center of the machine. And then 2 more clicks will be the right input port. So I'm going to put them right in the center of the machine. And then stack 2. And that's how I like to do it. So what I can do now is just run a belt like that and like that. And I like it. It's got this little crisscross or like a little Y shape. I think it looks really slick. So just for keeping everything uniform, we've got the top splitter going to the left and the bottom one going to the right. Alright, it was top one goes left. It's been a while since I recorded that last portion. I just got back. Taking a little break. There, I can't remember what kind of numbers we're dealing with, but I'll make these Mark III belts just in case. Let's hook this up to the inputs now. Perfect. Now we can merge all these together. And take the output, or excuse me, take the merged lines over behind those constructors to finish the beams. Remember I showed you before, when it's something close like this, you can just double click. It gets it in there real nice and quick. Right, now for these we need to split them up. So we'll take a splitter. Excited for this build to be done. I'd like to have a good supply of these encased industrial beams so I can start really getting replacing everything with Mark II miners. We're going to use these encased industrial beams for the hypertube entrances and stuff like that. And hypertubes are cool. It's like a pipe we shoot ourselves through. It's pretty awesome. Okay, so we're gonna have 15 times 5. That's fine. We'll bring it over here. You know what we can do is we'll put a splitter right between all of these. All right, so that's right on the line there. This is offset, but then right on the line. Excellent. Since this belt work is kind of predominantly shown, if you didn't notice, I've been making the right angles and stuff like that, just because in this part of the factory, the belts are the focal piece, so All right, let's see. We need to merge these again. Let's take them that way. I think that's going to do it. All right, now it's time to run power. So I'm going to mix that into a beautification step. Oh, these are ramps. Here, let me show you real quick. Just one little difference. Those are the catwalk ramps that I've been using, but they also have stairs, which are a steeper slope. So we can make it, yeah, much closer. There. That's not permanent again. That's just for getting up there. So let's start designing this. Let me figure out the walls, and I'll check back in. Okay, I just want to show really quick how I decided to trim this corner piece here. I'm going to use the beam connector, and then use this painted beam to trim it. Trim the edge. Then I'm going to remove that. Okay, and now to get this to line up, I'm going to lay down a foundation, pull out a road barrier. I want to clip the road barrier into the wall. Okay, this foundation is not close enough, so I'm going to have to move it over there just a little bit. There. And now I'm going to point and hold and replace it. Yeah, right, that one. There. So ended up being this one was a little bit too close, so I just overlapped it, moved it back. Second try, I got it right. And now we can build this wall that's not centered on our normal foundations. I just fell down this off my little side right here and into this little cave. I wonder if this will be the time we find our first spider. Let's check it out. Just a quick warning, if you have a strong disdain for spiders, you might want to look away for this part. There you are, you beauty. That is just a little time. This is just a baby. You can hear something, but it sounds like it's outside of this cave. Oh, that's what's talking to us.
Harvest.
There is somewhere else to go. I don't have gas masks yet, but that would be cool. Maybe we should work on that. Anyway, that was anticlimactic, but at least we have our first spider remains. Ta-da! As the sun sets on another day here in Satisfactory, I have mostly completed this building. I've also learned a few things. For example, the iterative process of designing and trimming this, like figuring out where these pillars would go and stuff like that, does not make for interesting viewing. It's a lot of me going, well, trying this and that, other such things. I will show you around this building another time. I just had to cut all of that stuff out. It wasn't fun. It wasn't interesting. I don't have the truck going yet, but as you can see here, after just a couple minutes, we already have 54 of these encased industrial beams. So it is working. And I will take you through it. I did sort of neglect to design personnel interior spaces. It's the factory floors, and then it all comes down to this truck station. There's not nice walkways or pathways, but I don't think we'll actually ever need to go back upstairs, at least not once after I show you how it all came together. But yeah, I don't know how to make that part interesting. It's just too hit or miss, and sometimes I'll do something and I'll work on it for 10 minutes, and then I'll come across some sort of weird angle thing like this, and I'll have to tear something out, and then it was all wasted. And so sometimes I was editing parts in and out, and it just wasn't good. So I'm going to keep trying, coming up with better ways to showcase how I decorate and stuff like that. But yeah, got a nice little rainstorm now too. So that's going to be it for this episode. We built an encased industrial beam factory. Next episode or sometime after, we're going to set up a truck to go and pick this stuff up, take it back over there to our big storage garage. We'll figure that out as we go. Not sure if I'm ready to set in stone what the garage spaces will look like, and I feel like when I start bringing something like these encased industrial beams back, I'll have to come up with a pretty good system, and I'm just not sure I'm creatively ready for that yet. Particularly because we also don't have everything unlocked in the Awesome Shop, so I think probably next episode we're going to increase our coupon production. I unlocked an alternative recipe for cheaper silica, so I think I'll go over to the quartz mine and convert that whole thing to a silica dump so we can get more points. We have 7 coupons during this episode. My hemming and hawing worked in our favor for that. But anyway, I'm rambling again, so that's going to be it. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.